Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel HTG Obitech here. Today we're gonna take a look at how to do flight planning, especially in 787 Dreamliner using heavy division mod. Unfortunately, there's not many guide available, so I have to kind of guess, trying to find out from other sim guide for 787. So hopefully this will help you a bit on trying to get the best out of the mod, which is actually quite nice. And I like flying the 787. It's quite simple, easy to fly at this moment. And apparently, I guess the developers or the mod developers will change and add more features in the future. So this guide will probably expire when this new feature comes. So I'm using version 1.1 1.10. I think the last stable versions, or you can also use the development versions from the GitHub. So I'm gonna show you how to get it from GitHub also. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so to get the mod itself, the 78 X-Ray Hotel, you just type 7x7xh. You will be presented by this website here on the GitHub. Click here. This is the GitHub page. Here you can get two ways to get the mod. First, you get the latest version. You click here. The releases. This is version 0.1.10. That's the latest. Last time I think 0.1.9. That's the last one. You can click here. Then this is the you go down and then you click the zip here. There is a without and with version. So this one is with heavy mod menu, and this is without. So I'm using the heavy mod menu. If you don't want to, you can click this one. Okay, so it will be downloaded and we can open it later and put it in a community folder. Okay, so the other way to get the latest one, sometimes the latest version is broken. Let's say after FTSIM update, or after Microsoft update, also will update the simulator and it crashes, for example. Sometimes Kimlada or the contributor here are changing the code immediately. It won't be available in the releases, but it will be available in the development mode. Development mode here, unfortunately, there's no link. You can see there's no link directly in here, but you can get it from this code and then download the zip. It will download the B787 X-Ray Hotel main. So the main one indicating the development mode, and without it, actually the versions, which is the latest stable versions. So both of them can be used. Sometimes this one is much more usable, but yeah, if you want the stable one, you click this one. The stable one has a note here. This has been recently updated, I think 6 days ago from today. I think it's still September 2021. 21. So this is after the SIM update 5, but I think it's before the World Update. Okay, World Update 6. But I've tested in World Update 6. It's still working, so no problem. Some system were refactored. I don't know about it. We fixed stepping in plan. Not sure about it. VNAV use speed director internally. I think it's some improvement there. Some static page insists menu. I'll show you where's the menu. Edit static FS page. I will show you also, and possible to control parameter by FS page. So I'll show you also later on. And they fix FMC render. Not sure. Payload manager, I think it's improved. Not sure what is the difference. I think it's things behind the scene. Sim rate manager has been removed. So this one is the accelerations, auto acceleration features in the mod itself, and a long flight. If you do a long flight during the cruise flight level, I think they will accelerate to specified speed sim rate, so you can having a shorter time in doing a long flight. So I'm not using this before, so if you use this one, it's being removed and probably back in the stable version 1.11. so you can do it manually anyway, using the key press, specific key press in the FS 2020. Flight plan sync strategy, added non and one way. There's no explanation about it, but I think previously if you create a flight plan inside the FS 2020 world map, those flight plan do not directly enter the leg or the flight planner in the FMC or the flight management computer. So you have to download manually, either from game or from SimBrief or from other tools. Okay, so with this setting, if one way set, then you gonna be copied, the flight plan will be copied from the FS 2020 flight plan into the FMC. So I'm using the FS 2020 flight planner because I still gonna use the ATC, built-in ATC. Okay, but if you don't want to use the built-in ATC and you don't care about it, you just want to fly, you can set it known and you can import from SimBrief or from other tools. You don't need the one-way setting. So I'm using one-way just to copy it from internal FS 2020 flight plan into the aircraft. So this is how they do it. Copy the flight plan from world map using one-way strategy. This is stated here, FP-Sync strategies automatically unset world map flight plan. So any changes on this, I think any setting, whatever, it will be unset the world map flight plan. I think it's going to detach it from, so I think that's another issue. If you're using SimBrief, the flight plan from the world map still kind of linked. So this ensure there's no linkage anymore. If you use SimBrief, it will follow the SimBrief flight plan that you enter into the aircraft. I think that's what it means. I didn't like the SimBrief one because I still gonna use the inbuilt ATC, because if you use import from SimBrief, you cannot ask for IFR clearance from ATC. That's, I think, I've experienced. So if you want to use built-in ATC from FS 2020, I think you still have to use the flight planner from the world map or FS 2020. And then rework exec logic. I don't know about this. Change LNAV logic. I think should be better right now. I think I've experienced quite good, but there's certain process that you need to do. LNAV is more precise now. SimBrief integration insert route with airways, I think it's okay. It is good. Added overspeed protection also. Change PFD colors. I'm not sure about this, but yeah, this is a minor cosmetic, I guess. FMC legs page using Boeing design for legs and constraint. I think they are kind of different format last time, but now it's probably more accurate toward Boeing design. So I'm not familiar with it anyway before, so cannot comment on it. But this is the latest stable version, so I'm going to show you using the development version, but I think it's quite similar with the stable versions. Okay, so let's go inside the sim and let's get familiarized with the mod itself. Okay, before I forget, one more thing. If you already download, if you don't know how to copy this mod into your community, basically you go here, and here is the which one that you want to use. Let's say the development version. So this one is here in the download. You can open it. You can copy this, basically this file into your hold on, let me open my community. So this is my community, and then just drop it here. Just copy it here. When you open the sim, you can select the default Boeing 787 Dreamliner. It will be like extended or improved by this mod. So you still have to select the default Boeing 787. There won't be any different aircraft in the menu on the aircraft selection, it will be a default aircraft. So if you are the first time user of this mod, you're still gonna select the default aircraft, okay? But it will be enhanced already. If you don't want to be enhanced, you just delete this folder from community. It will going back into the default version, okay? So let's go inside. Okay, so let's go inside the world map to create the flight plan. I'm using world map. Actually, you can use SimBrief to create certain like the payload, the fuel calculations. I think you have to use SimBrief because there's no chance you're going to calculate yourself here. But for the sake of the demonstration right now, I'm not going to set that kind of accurately, but you can just, you know, trying to play around a bit on payload and the fuel calculation. Okay, so I'm using EVA Air from Taiwan's Chinese Taiwan's, so that will, yeah, so we're gonna depart from Hong Kong. Let's do 3 Hotel Hong Kong, and then we gonna we're gonna select 8 here, W42 departures, Whiskey 42 as departures, and we're gonna, let's say, CSS Sungsan Taipei. We already have a mod here, so we're just trying to see if it's good or not. We're gonna use low altitude for this demonstrations. Okay, but usually this aircraft need a high altitude anyway. So here departure, I'm going to use 7 right. Okay, just to go into 07 left actually. It's okay. Same result. It will go kind of passing through the Hong Kong islands. So it's going to be nice to see above Hong Kong. The arrival, actually we gonna use ILS 10 because it's gonna say direct from here. This is the much bigger airport, Chiang Kai-shek International, but you're gonna land in the smaller airport here. Arrival already set using HL or Hotel Lima 10 Zulu 110. Okay, so this is the star, the green one, and this is the ILS approach. And the blue one basically is the, so we don't use the 41,000 feet, so we're gonna set, let's say 15,000 feet, so it's create a bit more flat, and then we descend here, I think around Lalim. Okay, I think we gonna descend around here. There will be top of descent indicator in your navigational display and the display in the 787, so it will indicate where we start to descend. So it's very slow descent, and then we after HLG here we're gonna do a steeper descent. Okay, so that's it, and let's just put somewhere in morning, like flying in the morning. I think that's it. EVA, you can also set the customizations, the call sign number. I put EVA 4400. I think it is not, I think it's a bug here. Usually it's stick here, but it's gone now. But anyway, I've set already. Then you're gonna click fly. Also flight condition, if you want to change. Right now it seems to be thunderstorm, but we'll see about that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here we are in the cockpit, and there's my first officer Jenny. I won't use any kind of conversation for this today tutorial. I guess it's going to be direct, so let me take a seat. And here we are. Jetway has been connected. I'm using pushback softwares from ambitious developer, so it's free one. It's very nice, very simple, but very complete. Okay, so and Also yeah, CFC also from him, I think, also showing my frame rate per second. Just now I'm locked my screen into 30 frame per second. Anyway, I'm using TV monitor 60 inch, so just set it into 30 hertz or 30 frame per second. So here we are in the aircraft. The functionality is not that much. You cannot do anything here yet, and many of the hydraulics and cannot function, so it's very limited at this moment, but it's very nice. So let's go start the battery here and external power. Well, you can do with 2 actually. You don't need the after, but this is quite hungry aircraft. So the first one that you want to set is the IRS alignment. So this is for GPS alignment, but you can force it quickly if you want to. If you don't want to wait, here it sets around 8 minutes or 9 minutes, 8 minutes actually, alignment. So kind of quite takes some time. And hit the caution here, the door open. It shows the door open. And what else? I think the other setting usually is this anti-ice to auto, and then you set nav light on because you are inside the aircraft, and the rest will switch it on later. Okay. I think the landing light is on. That's it, and you can check your throttle in idle positions, your fuel control. This one is the flap is fully retracted, up positions, speed brake retracted, gear is I think from my last flight. So you can check everything is okay. Then you can good to go for the planning setup. Okay, so we can go directly. So before that, I think I'm going to show you several page, or I can show you later after the flight planning. Okay, so the main focus right now is the flight planning first, and I'm gonna do a quick setup first. So usually you check here, is everything okay, updated database of AirRock, and you just click position in it, and you can enter your airport here, and then the gate is, I think, for if I'm mistaken, whiskey 42. Okay, and I think it's already quite similar. Usually just use this one because this is the existing location anyway, so I don't know if this is useful or not, but just click this one and it will copy it into the scratchpad, and then click this here, it will copy it from scratchpad to here. So basically it's copied the GPS position to initialize the computer. Okay, so that has to be done. Heading, you can set today heading. You can see here in what heading you are with 118. You can enter here, but I don't think that's important. Anyway, so here you can see it's already filled up, origin, runway, destinations, and flight number. So how do you get this one? You have to go here first time before you do any, and then you have to go out again and then restart your flight. Basically is using the configuration here. In the configuration, you can see here SimBrief is filed, FPS sync strategy. Here you have to select one way. You can select none or one way, so I'm selecting one way, and of course the metric or imperial, because I'm flying in Asia right now, I'm using metric. SimBrief, it's filed. Well, this one you can change a bit on the strategy or what you're gonna get from the SimBrief. Okay, so here is no, but you can, let's say, route only. You can select this one, or including SID or including star. You can adjust yourself manually. Okay, so this is how the setting. I'm not using SimBrief right now. I'm using the flight planner, because if I'm using SimBrief, I won't be able to ask for ATC clearance. Okay, default ATC. So you either you don't use ATC or you use pilot to ATC add-on, for example. Okay, so that is how you get into this setting. So it's already filled up. You can check into the next page. It's already filled up with the flight plan that we have created in the Microsoft World Map. Okay, so it's already set up here. So if you see here in the legs, you already set up with every information required, except for the what do you call it, the altitude. Okay, cruise altitude we haven't set because we want to set 15,000 feet, so we're gonna set 15,000 feet later on. Okay, so this one is already set, and actually there's some discontinuity. Let's say okay, so let me check. Okay, let's start from beginning. So here from page 1, so I think from the departure 7 left, we're gonna go to rovers, TD, Tango Delta, Shelly, Lakes, and then actually Lakes is the transitions into the Magok. So here is the starting of the cruise flight level. Okay, and then HLG, Hotel Lima Golf. I think this one is the entrance to the, if not mistaken, this is the star approach. Okay, so we can delete this one, oops, sorry, delete the discontinuity. Okay, so I think it's okay, everything check. This one is landing at this one, runway 10 at 68. Yeah, so this is runway, this is the kind of misapproach route. Okay, so you can go back here. What you need to do is actually, once you set up here, it won't be able to follow the aircraft won't follow the flight plan in these legs without, you need to activate first. So you need to do is click the activate here and then execute. You can press here or you can press here. Okay, so here, so once it's executed, I think it's already in the flight plan of the aircraft. Okay, so it's ready to be used. Now in this case also, because you see you are using a flight plan from FS 2020, you can also actually asking for the clearance. Okay, so if you ask for the clearance, there's a menu here, request IFR clearance. If you use SimBrief download, or you get the flight plan from SimBrief, you won't get this one. Or you can, if you do manual entry here, sometimes actually in my case I didn't see this request IFR clearance, so it's kind of like you are doing the VFR flight rather than IFR. It's quite annoying, but unfortunately if you want to use the ATC, default ATC from FS 2020, you have to use the flight planner from World Map. That's my experience. I don't know if you guys differently. Do comment below and let me know how to do it. Anyway, so here we can request, or you can ask your officer to do it. For example,
Hong Kong clearance delivery EVA 4400 IFR to Songshan, ready to copy.
EVA 4400 is cleared to Songshan Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 7 left climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.05 squawk 3753.
EVA 4400 cleared to Songshan Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 7 left climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 124.05 squawk 3753.
EVA 4400 read back correct. Contact ground on 122.55. Good day.
okay, so basically you already got your clearance from local ATC, and transponder already been set by your first officers, so it's okay. And then you are instructed to go 11,000 feet first time, and 70, I think it's that's the direction of the 7 left. It's around 70. Let's put 70. I think around 73. I forgot, 72 or 73. I think around that one. And then the speed, let's set up to hundreds. Okay, that's it. So you can activate LNAV, VNAV, and also auto throttles, just to be and then flight directors. So here we are ready to execute here, but we haven't finished the planning. So once you file for the route or the flight plan, you still have to continue the planning. Here you can set the payload manually here. Let's say the payload is, let's say, 30,000 kg, for example, and then the FOBs, I think, is around just 12,000, because it's a short flight. Fuel will be like this. Let's execute. So they will transfer this into the adjusting the fuel and the payload. So here you can see here in the fuel is only in the left and right wing, no center. So you can disregard the center pump activation, but if you have a center fuel, let's say here a 6 also, total of like 18,000 kg, then you have to switch on the 3 pumps on the wing, 2 in the wing and 1 in the center, because if not, then it will not equalizing the use of the fuel. Okay, if there's a fuel inside here. So that's it. So you've set up the and then you can go back to init reference. So here you already set up the payload here, the weight, takeoff weight here, and then the 0 fuel weight and the fuel itself. I don't put any reserve, but you can do it also if you want to. Now let's put 15,000 feet, let's say, the cruise altitude here, and the cost index, let's say 15 or whatever number from SimBrief, for example, and you are set here, and then continue with the thrust limiter. Here you can just click here to get the degree, selected degree outside air temperatures, and selected degree on the temperatures of the setting. Here you can set full toga or full takeoff speed or power, or this one is a reduction of 10%, reduction of 20%. You can, if you have a longer runway, you can choose this one or a combination of this, for example, but I just stick with the default one. So okay, and then go to takeoff page. Here you set your flaps. You can set 5 or 10 usually, either 5 or 10 will do. And for example, if you want to have a faster takeoff and slower speed or heavier payload, so let's say 10. It's already filled up, 60-degree thrust, and you just click here, V1, V2, VR actually, and V2. It's already populated automatically by the calculator here, so you will rotate around 139 knots. Okay, so that's it. So this one is set. One thing you're gonna check is the navigation radio here, because it's empty. I need to check what is the frequency of the ILS of the Songsan, and then have to put manually here because it's empty. Sometimes it filled, sometimes it's empty. So it's empty, you have to fill before you land. Today we're gonna show that on the landing part, but another video will do much more comprehensive. I'll show you how to set this one, and then before you land, usually before during descent or preparation for descent. So you can fill it up. Once you get them clearance, you can adjust, or if it's a different ILS given. Okay, here VOR left and VOR right if you want to check your using VOR on the directions. But usually, yeah, with this RNAV or radio area navigations with GPS, this one is kind of optional, but it's good to know who's over there. Okay, the other page is quite important, is progress page. Sometimes you use this one to check your progress during the flight. So this is very handy page. And other thing is, that's it. So here, as you can see, it's already aligned, showing the terrain, the ground. But if you want to faster alignment, you click here, and then just click here, force align. It will immediately align rather than waiting for 8 minutes. Okay, so that usually if I am impatient, I just click that one. Okay, so that is done. Another page that's used for approach is this one is for approach. You can select which speed, which flap that you want to use for landing. Usually either here or 25 or 30 degree. You can click here and then put it here, so that is set for the approach speed. Okay, so that's pretty basically that's done for the preparation. Usually the approach will do it, we can do it later on during descent or during approach phase. Okay, so they are here, we open this page, so because I think when we are during the call out during checklist, we can read it out from here. So now let's look at another important area here. If you see here, let me zoom it. So this is the PFD, primary flight display, and this is navigational display, and this is engine display. So you can change here the menu. I think this is showing system here. There's several page here, and then CDU info I think is not used. It's just for debug, I guess. Checklist still empty, unfortunately. We can use auto checklist here later on. COM is enough, and navigational display as what we already know. Okay, here is the touchscreen. Here I think in the real plane is not touchscreen, I'm not sure, but here you can either control from here or from this menu also. Now several buttons here, as you can see. Here is, of course, this is autopilot, and this is for heading. This one is for vertical speed, and this is altitude. Okay, so we're going to talk a bit about it later, but I think it's pretty straightforward, because if you use Boeing, I think it's quite familiar, but if not, then yeah, it's quite new. So really the same basic information. So here the minimums, to enter the minimum either using baro or radio, but I think it's only stick to baro right now rather than radio. So we're gonna set our minimum here. You can see here the minimum. We can set the minimum. You get the minimum altitude from Jefferson approach plate, or the basically you get the approach information. Let's say ILS 10 for example is the minimum. It's, let's say, I haven't checked, but let's say the minimum is let's say 300. Okay, here 300. So come on, 300. So the minimum will be 300. Okay, this is when you set minimums, and let's say check or go continue, for example, and that is when you check if when they reach minimum, the visibility of the runway is okay or not. If not, then you have to go around or cancel your approach. Okay, the other one important is this baro altimeters. Here the baro set is using hectopascal. Usually in Asia or Europe or in US is using inch HG. Okay, so here you can select, let's say the baro set is 3005, for example, 3005. That's your adjustment to the locations barometric setting. Okay, so here is very important. Usually this one is working. Today it's not working, so it's during let's say above 10,000 feet or 5,000 feet in Asia. I think in US is 18,000 feet. You have to set standard, which is going back to 2992. Right here we already set 3005, but above certain altitude you go back to standard. Here you cannot do it here, unfortunately. Now the other way to do it is actually from the FS, which is here, system, and here there's several page here, which is usually static page or something that is not. Door is, we want to see which door which is open. Gear, sometimes just to check, but not really functional, I mean not really critical. Flight control, sometimes you want to check. Let's say if you want to test flight control, this is very handy. Now the one is very important is this FIS display. Okay, so this one is showing captain part of the FIS, electronic flight instrument, and this is the minimum that we have set here. It's also here, and you're seeing baro, for example, just to ensure we set here baro, or you can adjust here, or you can click here, do the same. And the one that we use for standard is actually here. So if you once you're in the air, let's say above 18,000 feet in US, you want to set standard, rather than you push here, because you cannot push anymore here, you click here. So if you click here, it will go to standard. So that's it. So that will be 299.2. So let's say you going back again, it will be 29.92. Okay, so it will go back into the standard barometric altitude above 18,000. So you have to set again for landing. You usually assign or check to METAR what is the barometric pressure in our destination or arrival airport. Okay, so you can change again. Let's say in Songshan later on we gonna be at 3000, for example. Then you set again after you get below 18,000 or 10,000 feet, whatever the regulations. Okay, so actually in Asia I think below 5,000, I forgot. So that is this menu if you want to change the standard. And I think that's related to the notes that is said in the website, the GitHub, that the standard setting is actually here as the temporary way of, rather than pushing this button, because we cannot push anymore. That's it. I think that's the important information. For this kind of other informations, I won't kind of like giving you right now, but we'll do it later on when we I think we can set also here on the last time it's actually not functional, but this time it's already functional. You can see here they can change here can we change the no, here is inch, this one is HPA. Anyway, quite funny, but we cannot even change here. Is it changeable or not? No, nope. So this one is the backup instrument, so you can adjust your backup also to align with this one. I think you have to see here in HPA first, to 16. So last time is just linked together and not functional, but this time is working. So quite nice. So now they have the backup instrument here. What else? I think other than that, I think that's quite basic. You can on the ND you can activate weather radar or terrain. So TFC also is, you can have this this one is just like a distance scale like this, a linear line, and once you set up the altitude, there's a banana kind of curve here to show you where you're gonna arrive, or when you're gonna reach your target altitude. But if you want to use this kind of circle also showing you the, let's say, range 05, this one is the 05 mile, and then this one is probably like this one is probably the 0.25, 10125, this one is 0375, for example. So it's kind of aligned with this is the range. For example, if you set 1 mile nautical mile, so this is 1 mile, this is 0.5 mile, this is 0.75 mile, 0.25 mile. So it's quite handy if you want to estimate, so you can back to this kind of scale or using this circle scale. And you can also use this one here, I think. Yep. Oh no, I think it's only to the main display. I think so. Yeah, and the left cons, I think so. Well, you can switch, but the one that is, it's a link actually from here. Yep, so here you can see the plan on the map. Plan is you to check your route. The map is just for flying. That's it. So I think that's the most important setting. Once you activate the flight plan here, you can already got the clearance from IFR, clearance from the ATC, and you later on you can just engage the AP here. It will follow the flight plan. I'm going to show you in another video when we really flying this route separately. Okay, so this one just the instruction on the how to, but if you want to see how it works in the real flight, see my other video. Okay, see you around.